Assalamu alaikum viewers, and please subscribe to the channel, and like and comment, because your feedback is important. Well, I want to talk about this important issue that is in the news constantly, is the Gaza conflict, and the war that has gone on there for the last 5 to 6 months, and we're just seeing a ceasefire now, and also we're seeing the United States, finally, isolating Israel on the world stage, and we all have to get this through our heads that we've realized through this battle that this conflict is not a very complicated situation. It's not something that you know one has to go deep dive into what has taken place, and you have to really have a lot of knowledge on this. um, Before this, I thought it was, the Jews were there for a long time, and they were indigenous to their land, and they decided to, go to war with the Arabs and, take back their land. That's what was the initially what it all looked like, but I realized no, that was not the case. They all came from Europe, and they all came through the Balfour Declaration, and they all came through basically the racism that was going on in all over Europe against the Jewish people, and basically the hatred that the Western European people had for them. And even though they were living peacefully in Europe, and they were having a better life, they all had a very good life there, and it all went wrong due to fascism, due to nationalism, that destroyed Europe, and also led to two major world wars, and which actually created all this mess, and led to the 1948 Nakba, and basically the catastrophe as we all know it, as more than 700,000 Palestinians were thrown out of their homes, and to make way for a very massively brutal occupation that's going on for the last 75 years. And we've always been told you don't know anything about this, so you don't know what you're saying. But no, we know what we're talking about. And now many people have decided to research this, and to learn about this, understand this, and it's very clear. It's the roots left by those two major wars, which was colonialism, which left us nationalism and fascism and patriotism, and basically this is what happened. All these isms left the world in a lot of issues, and you have problems all over the world. From in the subcontinent, we have the rise of fascism, as in the case of the BJP and the RSS, and we have a fascist regime currently in control in Palestine, and occupying and basically constantly making the local population lives miserable. And it's really because we think that whereas our people, we all need to have a land, or we have to these were all left. These were all these ideas were left by the Western Bloc here in the Middle East, and all over Africa and the subcontinent. And so, really, today we are all seeing those effects, and we're seeing what all that is spilling over into a new war that is, coming up. And we see all the symptoms of World War III here, because when you open the TV, it looks like it's the whole world is currently just in a war. You have the genocide going on in, Sudan. We have another genocide going on in the road between Rwanda and the Congo. We got other problems like in from all the way from in China with the Uyghur Muslims. We also got the Rohingya Muslims also currently, if you don't know, Myanmar has locked in a civil war, and which we'll get to in another video, hopefully. Because, but I want to talk about why did the Western Bloc do this? Because the Western Bloc, after the Second World War, had greatly realized, even after the First World War, that their power is diminishing slowly. They're losing power. And in the First World War, they lost a lot of soldiers and a lot of men and a lot of manpower, and they realized, they won't be able to one day control all of Africa and the subcontinent. And also, one massive victory they got was, it was the fall of the Khilafah, the Ottoman Caliphate, which fell after the World War One, and basically their collapse led to what right now the mess we have in the Middle East. And it would not have been a mess if we, did not have this Zionist entity there, which is currently, either divided, they're, somehow controlling divisions in Syria and Iraq, and also, even Jordan and Lebanon, and it caused so many issues in the last 70 years. And they're trying to destroy these countries, and one day occupy them for their sick twisted ideology of achieving greater Israel. And it again really shows that due to these ideologies left by the Western Bloc, they have greatly damaged the world. And obviously these ideologies are one day again gonna cause a huge issue, which will lead to a bigger war. And right now, they've killed almost 30,000 civilians in Gaza. They have, who knows, maybe even more than that, maybe 50,000, maybe 40,000. We don't know, but we know that more than 120,000 people have been affected. We know that almost 2 million people have been displaced and have lost their homes, and we also know that they have basically destroyed and leveled on the entire city, the entire this beautiful place. They've flattened it, and they have not achieved their goal of eliminating age group. And what we are seeing in this conflict is that these reserves, they come from France or Britain or Germany or Italy or Spain or the United States or Canada, or even South American countries, or even China. I've even seen, when I saw a Chinese Zionist Jew, I thought I have seen everything now. And also even Indians, and also mercenaries from Ukraine and from Europe. So even we also hear that American soldiers are also assisting them. Also, they are special American forces, fighting with Israeli, soldiers. So so we realize that all this effort is to, maintain their imperialist agenda, and have a control over the region. Because we realize that the rise of China is a really massive and a wake up call for them, because they know day by day China has is getting stronger and is expanding their infrastructure, and they're spending a lot on their military, and to them that's a threat. And also the fact that Iran is allied with China. You also so Pakistan, Afghanistan has done some treaties with China. So what is that all showing? It's showing that the United States dominance in the region is slowly going away, and this massive empire they have made with 800 military bases overseas is no longer, maintainable. And yes, they are still a dominant force. America still has a large navy, a large army, but again, when it comes to war, it's not a good idea, because already America has a lot of its own issues. Now, I have to tell you that neither do I hate, nor neither do many people hate the American people or the Western Bloc countries, their people. They don't agree with their governments, and their governments they've made certain mistakes that are wrong, that have basically damaged their country, and they've damaged in their government, and basically made it dysfunctional. And they've caused problems, like for example they destabilized Libya. They've also the war in Iraq, the Iraq war, led to the rise of ISIS, which was obviously another proxy made by the Zionists to destroy the Arab armies. And again, which also led to more and more further issues and complications in creating a massive refugee crisis, which again all of Europe is now complaining about, which I don't really see what's the fuss all about, because your governments destroyed Libya and Iraq and Syria, and now you are complaining, all these refugees are coming in from the Middle East and Africa. Well, you should not have, for instance, not intervened in their governments, and intervened in bringing regime change. Maybe that would have allowed these problems not to come into effect. And really now the world has woken up, and the Zionists are no longer hidden. We all know through the BDS boycotts, we know that by buying Unilever products, or buying KFC or McDonald's or Starbucks or any other product, you're basically giving another dollar to the American economy. And basically, there is, remember, like, you might buy the franchise, but at the end of the day, from your profits, you have to pay a small sum to the American government, or no, not the American government, but the franchise. And basically, that franchise pays taxes to the United States government, which the United States government invests in their own army, and also through their, they give military aid to Israel, and weapons, and including 155-pound shells, which Israel needs currently, because they're using stocks from 1953 of the Korean War. And also right now we are realizing that the world has finally shifted after this hypocrisy of, oh, is it a genocide, or is it or should we be saying these kind of words, or I mean, like, what more can we say? We're seeing a genocide in live time right now, and every day there are horrific images coming out of Gaza. I mean, it's not something new. It's always been going on there. especially in the West Bank, especially all over inside what you call historic Palestine. It's been what's been going on from the get go, and just now the world, as you know, it really knows through social media, and now they're already considering banning TikTok and other social media platforms, and they're also trying to put down these videos that are spreading the truth on this matter. And really, the world has realized that their governments, or their, not just their government, their leaders only care about is their interest, and their interest in controlling basically their imperialistic agendas. And the United States has completely isolated itself in this conflict, and from this we get this conclusion that right now the United States is in the most weakest position it's ever been in its entire history, and diplomatically. And what we're seeing is, maybe if this does not stop, and if there's not a proper ceasefire, and not a proper withdrawal of Israeli occupation forces from the Gaza Strip, and also an end to this senseless conflict, um, then and only then you could say we are moving in the right direction, and maybe a step towards peace. But currently, we are all seeing what could be World War III around the corner, because nobody really wants go through another world war, especially in the Western Bloc, because they have realized that's not a good idea, because if that happens, whatever power they have still left will completely be finished, because they don't really have that kind of strength to project soldiers and military personnel, and boots on the ground, as you could say, all over the world, because they don't have that kind of capabilities. Especially maintaining it is very difficult. So I would have to say, in the end, let's hope for the best, and let's pray for the best, and don't stop speaking about Palestine. Keep boycotting. That's a very positive sign that many people that once never knew about these important things are now basically trying to avoid buying those products, especially Unilever, especially McDonald's, KFC, Starbucks, and and also any company that basically supports settlements in Palestine, the Zionist settlements in Palestine. So they're trying to do their best. Wherever you are from, whoever you are, speaking the truth is important, and whatever way you can spread awareness about this issue, it will eventually help the cause. And thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.